Ugh. Oh, it's not cold enough. Ugh.
Oh my god.
Oh, put it in the freezer.
Oh my god.
Caroline?
You can't
Caroline,
drink.
Mommy, can you hear me?
You can't drink semi-cold water.
No, and I also can't drink fucking sink water, but I'm desperate.
Caroline, please tell Mommy hello.
It's filtered tap water.
Sink water.
Oh my god.
I drink out of a Hinkley. You thirsty?
Some water.
Get some water.
Cow certainly says water.
I don't remember how he says water.
He said it once on you were on Discord.
You remember random
I think
shit.
he said it like water.
Water.
Some water.
I'm gonna text him and tell him to send me a
Or
video
water.
of him saying water.
Water. Yeah, that's right. Some water.
We have to be nice, remember? He might listen to this.
Water. Why didn't he just take a video of him saying water?
Yeah, because he's a little nerd. I don't know.
How do you pronounce water? Water.
Water. How do you say water?
Should we start?
I guess. Welcome to the, what is it, 7th episode of Beer and Fear. My name
number
is
7.
Paige.
My name is Zach.
Thank you for going along with that.
Uh-huh.
How was your week?
I wrote down some things that
Holy crap, 7 episodes.
I was going to talk about. Oh my gosh, we've been doing this forever. Seven whole episodes.
I don't like your tone.
My week was good. I think the highlight of my week since...
Did you write down my week was good?
Yeah, I'm going to read. My week was great. I did these things. Read list of things. Oh, I'm supposed to read the list of things.
I'm not supposed to say read list of things.
No, I think we've talked about this before. If I don't write shit down, I forget it.
Yes.
I have a horrible memory.
I know.
So, I think the highlight of my week since last episode was hanging out at Crafted. Mm-hmm. That was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. The last time we went to Crafted was over a year ago, right? Mm-hmm. Still one of my favorite restaurants, Crafted in Plainfield. Check it out if you're in the area. Really good beer. Great place for craft beer, and they have really good food too.
Yeah, they fucking
I like
do.
their I would recommend their chicken and waffles. Their salad, their cranberry salad is
With
really
the
good.
goat cheese?
Yeah.
God, talk
You
dirty
can
to
get that
me.
if you order an entree, you get that as a side. It's so good.
Or you could just get the salad.
You can just get the salad too. I've had their meatloaf, which is really good.
You've had their wings. You've had their
I've had their wings?
Yeah, you've had their wings with that guy that you're friends with that was...
Oh, Mike?
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I
then
forgot
you've
about
had their, what is it? What's it called?
the peanut butter and pig is good.
Not that one. I get that all the time.
Yep.
But the burger that you get, I can't remember what it's called.
It's not
Got a weird name.
It's not an Impossible Burger.
No.
This is gonna bug me now. Shit. Pause while we look it up.
Yeah. It's got like coffee grounds in it.
Yeah, it's a really weird if you look at it on the menu.
called?
Well, first off, the peanut butter and pig is really good.
I got that first.
Yeah, it's a burger.
Ask for extra peanut butter.
It's a burger with peanut butter on it, and
So good.
you wouldn't think it was good, but it's amazing.
No, the peanut butter makes the texture so good.
Menu. I'm gonna pull up their menu so I can figure out what this burger is. I like how we just turned this into just talking about Crafted's menu. Come on.
The uncommon burger?
Yes, that's
Is it?
You nailed it. But I still need to find it because I can't name all the shit that's on it.
I just know that it's coffee grounds, goat cheese.
Yeah, Uncommon Burger. It's rubbed with our family-owned Uncommon coffee grounds, sea salt, brown sugar, and crumbled goat cheese, finished off with sriracha ranch, pickled onions, and served on a potato bun. Like, what the hell is that burger? And the first time I saw it, I was like, I'm getting that. That sounds
That is what
weird.
you got the first time
that
we
sounds
went.
weird as hell, and I'm gonna eat that. It's going in my mouth.
Ooh.
And it was tasty as hell. You wouldn't think it, but it's really good. Order the Uncommon Burger Crafted if you go. But yeah, we saw Jack and Jack.
Yes, the Jacks.
The Jacks. That was a lot of fun. Oh, I wrote this down. I saw this on Reddit. It was a picture.
Ah, that's nice and cold.
See, the ice helps. You know,
Still tastes like sink. I'll never be happy.
Snooty. You know how Kenosha in Wisconsin, they had all the like the riots and everything?
Yes.
Shit's going crazy and police up there. It's just wild. I saw a picture someone took of a police car in Kenosha, and all the tires were gone. So that this car was just jacked up on 4 bricks, and someone just took all the tires. So I guess police are working tirelessly to find the offenders. What else did I write down here? Yeah?
Whew! Where'd my pillow go? There it is.
Oh, also I had a weird dream
Horrible.
that I told you about.
Me too.
I was back working at Guitar Center, and I was helping a customer check out with their gear, and they paid me in Oreos. Remember I told you that?
Yeah, you said that you ate all 5 of them in one go.
Yeah, they slid a little tin of Oreos over my way. There were 5 Oreos in there as payment for the gear that they were purchasing. So, of course, I took all 5, and I ate them all at once.
Yes.
And then I asked them to punch in their PIN to finalize the
Payment
purchase.
complete.
That's how that works.
Those double stuff? Hang on, I got to give you back 2 Chips Ahoy.
Yeah, currency was cookies in my dream at Guitar Center.
I had a dream where I don't remember all the details, but my family tried to murder me.
Yeah, you told me about that. That's wild. You and your daughter.
Yeah,
have.
I don't have a daughter.
Why'd you have a child with you?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to like do one of those like look into your dream things and think about it, because I never dreamt about having children.
An extra, maybe that's just an extra bearing of responsibility that you were in charge of in your dream that you had.
Well, you can give dreams any manner of meaning that you want to if you
it's
look
fucking-
into it. You could say that it's stress related. You could say that it's you wanting to have kids.
Right.
You could say anything.
You don't
your
really
subconscious
take it with a grain of salt every
creating
time.
a movie for you every night.
Yeah, every time someone talks about my dreams and tries to interpret them, it's like, yeah, I guess.
A different thing every time.
guess.
And you could kind of see all of them.
Mm-hmm. But anything else special happen with you? Any stories you want to share? Any restaurants you want to recommend?
I never recommend restaurants. That's your
just my thing?
That's your thing. Just work, and I worked at the Naperville location at the hotel for Liberty Weekend.
Oh, so you were actually like, is their hotel open?
Yeah, I was actually in the hotel.
Why is yours not open?
I don't want to talk about it. Nobody knows. I don't know. I don't have an answer. No.
Well, that's cool.
So I got to spend time with some dogs.
I'm glad you got to. See, I even wrote that was Saturday. So I mean, that just kind of proves that point.
We're lame.
Yeah. That's cool that you got to work in a hotel. I know you've been wanting to do that at your store, so I'm glad you had the opportunity to work at Naperville. Did they just need extra help over there?
Yeah, the managers there like to borrow me sometimes.
Because they know you're good at your job?
Sure.
You're a grade A employee? You work extra hard?
They have all these new hires.
You bring 110%?
They have all these new hires.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was was placed in charge of the back of house responsibilities, just to see what he was capable of. He'd only been there for like 2 weeks, but the hotel manager was kind of like, I want to see what he can do, like kind of like flying on his own, see what he's capable of. So don't tell him who you are. Don't tell him that you're a hotel leader. I was like, okay, I like fucking with people.
Like undercover boss shit right here.
All right, I'm in. Let's do this. So they're like, okay, go talk to him. Just see if he needs help. See if he directs you. So I like go back there. I'm like, hey, here you're in charge. I'm Paige. I'm here to help. And like, he stumbled a bit near the beginning. He kind of gained some footing, but he went to the assistant manager and was like, first of all, he called me Phoebe. He was like, "It's Phoebe." And they're like, "Who? Oh, you mean Paige?" They're like, "Yeah." Is she a manager or something? Because she went back there and she kind of just knew everything. They're like, she's a manager of some kind. Yeah. They would not tell him.
Oh my God.
So finally near the end of the night, because I'm like, it's my last day. I'm like, I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid off. I'm like, I'm a hotel leader. He's like, Jesus Christ, I wish they had told me that.
The poor kid wouldn't embarrass himself in front of you the whole time.
So fucking funny. It was adorable.
Oh, that's fun.
Let's get into the beer.
Okay.
That's all I got for you. Honestly, cut that out.
No, that was cool. I like that story.
So, The beer for this episode is called Purple Haze. And I'm going to tell you right now, I did not really make a connection with this in any way. It's kind of spooky, but just the theme of it's supposed to be spooky because I think there's like a witch doctor on the front or like a voodoo gentleman.
So what you're saying is you put in very minimal effort?
No, I just really wanted to try this beer.
I'm just fucking with you.
I also couldn't find anything that I felt worked with the theme.
Yeah, Poltergeist.
Did
beer.
I say what the theme was this? Did I say episode 7 is Poltergeist?
No, we didn't discuss that. That's fine. People are smart. They know what they're clicking
I know,
on.
but I like saying it.
So episode 7 is?
Poltergeist.
Poltergeist.
I couldn't find anything that I felt was like, this fits. They're obviously, like every time I look up a beer just basically off of name, it's either no longer brewed or brewed in another country.
Yep. I had the same thing with next week's episode. We already have the topic picked out. Same thing with that. It's like you can punch in the topic and then beer, and then you'll find stuff where you have beers named that thing, but you can't get them. Only, select breweries make them.
The one I wanted, only brewed in the United Kingdom.
Oh, gotcha.
So.
Is it called Poltergeist?
It is.
Thing.
Every beer I find that's a craft beer is an IPA.
Yeah, I'd say the good majority of beers are
lazy.
Craft beers are IPAs. But you reminded me. My one of my managers at work actually listens to this on occasion, and she recommended a website which I can't remember right now. I'll have to ask her again. But she said you can go online and search up beers that are no longer in production. People just have these, and it's kind of like an eBay for beer. So you can punch in a name or something if you're looking for a particular beer, and people post these online. I mean, some of the stuff's really expensive depending on what you're buying, because people know that it's not made anymore. It's hard to get, and you can buy beer. So, and it's good if you just want to get like 1 or 2 bottles. You can do that. So I'll have to ask her what it is if we're ever looking for a particular kind of beer. Maybe we can use that. That's pretty.
Oh yeah, there you go. Thanks, lady who is Zach's boss.
Purple Haze.
Yes, the beer is called Purple Haze. It's from Abita Brewery. The Abita Brewing Company is nestled in the Piney Woods, 30 miles north of New Orleans. In its first year, the brewery produced 1,500 bales of hay.
Bales of hay.
Barrels of beer. We had no idea what we started. Customers loved our beer. By 1994, we outgrew the original site, now our 100-seat brew pub, and moved up the road to a larger facility to keep up with the demand. We brew more than 151,000 barrels of beer and 9,100 barrels of root beer in our state-of-the-art brewery facility. Root beer. Our lagers and ales are brewed in small batches, handcrafted by a team of dedicated workers with only the highest ideals of quality. This pride, along with our brewing process, is what creates our great brews. We are privately owned and operated by local shareholders, many who have been with us since day one. And then it's located in Covington, Louisiana. The ABV for Purple Haze is only 4.2%.
Interesting.
It's very low, but like I said, I was just kind of curious when I was looking for beers. This came up as a suggestion, and I was like, "Oh, that seems different." So I was like, "Why not?"
You can kind of like Haze, Poltergeist, Ghost, make a haze.
Don't make the connection for me. I just feel pity. I just feel.
Is
pity.
it fruity? 4.8.
If you'd let me talk.
Continue.
It's also 4.2, not 4.8.
Sure, I'm listening.
Best fucking memory of all of us. The description from the brewery: Purple Haze is a lager brewed with real raspberries added after filtration. What? It is brewed with Pilsner and wheat malts and Vanguard hops. The berries add a fruity aroma, tartly sweet taste, and a subtle purple color and haze. You may see fruit pulp in the beer. This beer is best served with salads or light fruit desserts, such as soufflés or chiffon cakes. Many people enjoy it with chocolate desserts. Purple Haze pairs well with certain cheeses, such as ripened brie, or many desserts made with mascarpone. It's also great paired with entrees prepared with fruit, especially citrus. Consider enjoying Purple Haze alone at the end of your meal as dessert.
Huh. I've got some mozzarella cheese sticks in the fridge.
They didn't say mozzarella.
Break those out. Interesting.
The Beer Advocate review, because I love those, is from a friend. That is his username.
A friend.
Or her name. A friend.
Nice.
Lovely. The look is a solid, slightly hazy light amber, a 2mm head, and plenty of carbonation.
Well, they broke the ruler out for that one.
Smell, nothing to get worked up about. A hint of raspberry, but an almost apricot malty nose. Oof. Taste, a refreshing and medium body malty cream hits you first and foremost. Malty cream.
Malty cream.
It mellows out into a mineral-like taste and finishes off with a taste akin to the skin on a fresh raspberry. So I'm guessing dirty.
I am excited to try this. This sounds really cool.
Disappointing, as I thought the wheat would make a more grand entrance. Feel and apricot creaminess and what I've noticed the most due to the high carbonation, easygoing and inviting. Overall, I longed for more with this beer, but I'm happy with what I got with it. I found that it is best enjoyed chilled and on the porch with a friend.
Oh, well, perfect. We got the chill part. We got the friend part. I don't have a
porch is in the
porch.
back.
Yeah, we got a patio outside. But.
The raspberry is there, but just barely. The maltiness would be overbearing if the carbonation wasn't there to keep things light. It got a 76 on Beer Advocate, which is just okay. And most of the reviews I found on it were very mixed. It just kind of seemed like a medium, like under the radar beer.
Yeah.
Not bad, but good enough that people are like, okay, I can enjoy this if I have like a certain taste.
This is a very honest review. Oh, that's cool. I'm excited to try it. It sounds like nothing I've ever had before.
I'm very curious because dessert beers are something that you don't like
think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously, I've never had a raspberry beer.
Aren't you allergic to raspberries?
I'm allergic to strawberries.
Strawberries, that's right.
He doesn't fucking know me at all.
Well, it was either, I knew you were allergic to strawberries. I just didn't remember if it was and raspberries. Look at the beer.
Go get that beer! And some water that actually tastes good.
Okay, I'm back. Purple Haze Raspberry Lager, 4.2%. Clouds of real raspberries swirl in this tart and tantalizing lager brewed with Pilsner and wheat malts along with Vanguard hops. I'm excited.
Is it a twist off? I don't think it is.
No.
What? You're using Scott's?
You use Scott's.
I've used it more than you, I know.
Twice.
I don't remember how to use bottle openers ever.
That one works this way.
Oh,
So you push down.
interesting. That wasn't as satisfying as using Scott's. Are you still collecting,
I am.
Okay. Mm-hmm. We need to do a craft with those.
Ooh.
What?
You can see. Oh, maybe I'm just. Maybe there's a little bit of
too
purple.
much foam.
A little bit of purple in there. Oh, my foam's only 2 millimeters. So.
Measured that shit. It smells good.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
now it makes me want pizza. I think beer just makes
Every
me
time
want
we have beer,
pizza.
now I want pizza.
Now I want pizza.
I mean, you can. If you squint, you can kind of see.
If you pretend.
There is a little bit. There's some purple in there. It's interesting.
I need this foam to calm down.
But you can tell it's fruity. It's got a fruity aroma to it.
I just like smelling it.
It does smell good. Little hazy. It is amber. Yep. All of those things our friend said was right.
Very carbonated, yeah. And clink.
Ooh. Little tingle on the tongue going on. No?
I'm trying to find the raspberry. Better than I was expecting. The reviews said it was okay, but I think it's a little bit better than that.
I think you can taste the fruit in the finish more. It definitely, there is carbonation going on. And you can see if you tilt, you can see the tiny bubbles. And I think that's what he meant by the head of the beer. Mm-hmm. Obviously, that refers to the foam of the beer, but the 2 millimeter head, I think he's talking about, is just the tiny bubbles that still kind of stick around. Mm-hmm. And that's that indication of carbonation in the beer. That's interesting.
Yeah, not very wheat forward. I read one of the reviews that was like, "This is my favorite beer." I'm like, I wouldn't say that about this. Mm-mm. But it's not bad.
No, it's good decent beer. It's interesting. It's complex.
Very smooth.
Can't quite put my finger on it.
The carbonation, a little tingly.
A little tingly.
I'm just trying to I feel like the raspberry should have been a little more prevalent, but also if it was, it would have been a fruit beer or like a sour ale.
Well, yeah, from the description, I mean, it's on the bottle. Raspberry lager. You can taste it. It's just, it is subtle.
Yeah.
It's good. I like it.
Jinx. It's a good beer.
It's a good beer.
Get into it.
I'm going to wait for my computer to wake up.
Yep. Little ticking clock right there, if you will.
I won't put the sound effect in. I'll just use
Mine from now on.
So, this is episode 7, Poltergeist.
Like we've said 3 times already.
Yep. In case you're not listening, this is episode 7.
We're consistent.
Talking about Poltergeist, and we're drinking Purple Haze. You could have just skipped everything and just to this part of the... I'm going to stop talking.
Yeah, don't tell them that, then they won't listen to us ramble.
So, a poltergeist, let's start with a definition, is a ghost or spirit supposed to manifest its presence by noises, knockings, etc.
Yes.
In ghost lore, a poltergeist is a type of ghost or spirit that is responsible for physical disturbances, such as loud noises and objects being moved or destroyed.
Oh, we should mention, we just watched Poltergeist.
Well, we will get into it.
Okay.
We will get into it. We did just watch that movie.
I've never seen it before.
We'll talk about it. That was exciting. I thought you'd... I mean, it's an older movie, but I was surprised that you didn't see it before. The etymology... I'm going to see if you can keep track of how many times I say I watched a video...
Make a drinking game out of it!
I watched this video of... who was it? It was like Cardi B or someone. I don't know who it was. But she was accepting an award for something. It's some pop singer. And this guy was watching her acceptance speech, and he ate a spicy pepper every time she said and it was fucking hilarious because it was like every other word, and this guy was just suffering, just eating peppers. Okay. The etymology of the word comes from the German language words poltern, literally to rumble, or make sound, and Geist, meaning ghost or spirit. Literally, rumble ghost. Poltergeist translates to rumble ghost. What are ghosts? If you don't know, a ghost is the soul or spirit of a dead person or animal, a disembodied spirit imagined, usually as a vague, shadowy, or evanescent form, as visible to wandering among or haunting living persons. Haunting living persons.
Evanescence.
Evanescence. Take me up inside.
Guys, wake me up inside.
The overwhelming consensus of science is that ghosts do not exist.
Fuck you, science. We're not here for you.
Their existence is impossible to falsify, and ghost hunting has been classified as a pseudoscience. Despite centuries of investigation, there is no scientific evidence that any location is inhabited by spirits of the dead.
Whatever.
Unfortunately. This is science.
I don't believe in Bigfoot, but I believe in ghosts.
Discussing different categories of ghosts is like discussing different breeds of dragons or races of leprechauns.
Ooh,
it's all made up. So there are as many types as you can dream of. Nevertheless, people all over the world believe in ghosts and spirits.
Yeah.
And a 2005 Gallup poll found that 37% of Americans believe in haunted houses and nearly half believe in ghosts. Do you believe in ghosts?
I told you I believe in ghosts.
I believe in ghosts too. I think they're a thing. I think they live
just like
among
I
us.
believe in extraterrestrial beings.
Yes.
It's just foolish to not believe in that.
Right, of course. You're not
self-centered.
You're not fun if you don't.
You're not the only thing that exists in the infinite universes.
Poltergeists are specific types of ghosts known for making noises, causing disturbances, and harassing or tormenting its victims. They are capable of pinching, biting, hitting, and tripping people. They can cause loud sounds and noises, move furniture, levitate objects, pull sheets and covers off beds, objects to fall off shelves, or objects being thrown at people. And they have been known to haunt a specific person rather than a particular location, usually as a result of a curse on the victim or an object the victim possesses. Some history. Early claims of spirits that supposedly harass and torment their victims date back to the 1st century.
Oh, damn.
But references to poltergeists became more common in the early 1600s. In P.G. Maxwell Stewart's novel Poltergeists, A History of Violent Ghostly Phenomena, published in 2011, he mentions potential reports dating as far back as circa 500, the year 500. Most claims or poltergeist experiences can be explained or debunked in a few different ways, and in fact, most events have been proved to be hoaxes. Physical researcher Frank Podmore proposed the naughty little girl theory for poltergeist cases. Not what it sounds like. He could have picked a better name. Essentially, this theory argues that more often than not, objects that are initially inexplicably moved or thrown are done so by children looking to cause mischief or prank someone. So, I don't know why he named it that.
You poltergeist, naughty little girl.
Oh, God. I'm uncomfortable.
I'm also uncomfortable.
Some poltergeists have argued that...
Some poltergeists have argued.
Some psychologists have argued that reported poltergeist activity can be explained by psychological factors such as illusion, memory lapses, wishful thinking, or hallucinations.
Always got wishful thinking for that.
I don't know. There have been attempts to explain poltergeist phenomena caused by other natural phenomena that don't relate to tricker or psychological factors as well. Skeptic and magician Milbourne Christopher found that some cases of poltergeist activity can be attributed to unusual air currents, such as a 1957 case on Cape Cod where downdrafts from an uncovered chimney became strong enough to blow a mirror off a wall, overturn chairs, and knock items off shelves. There have also been attempted explanations by unverified natural phenomena, including movement of underground water causing stress on houses. This can apparently cause strange sounds or structural movement. Seismic activity. Environmental geomagnetic activity. A lot of big words in these notes.
Yeah.
And ball lightning. Oh. Which, if you have never seen ball lightning,
I have.
that's ball lightning.
Look at it go.
Everyone's like, oh, what the fuck?
Oh, it's a poltergeist.
Get away.
Ah.
The caption says globe of fire descending into a room. That's kind of frightening. If that's an actual...
I like that the mom's just got the baby clutched and the dad's in the corner just like, whoa,
Oh, what is
boy,
going
I don't
on?
have the homeowner's insurance for this.
Some paranormal explanations of poltergeists include psychokinesis, which is telekinesis, manifestations of disembodied spirits of low level belonging to the 6th class of the 3rd order, trance states, and exteriorization of one's subconscious mind.
I have that happen all the time.
And we're going to talk about the movie Poltergeist. Came out in 1982, which we just watched. It was directed by Tobe Hooper and written by producer Steven Spielberg, Michael Grace, and Mark Victor. Poltergeist is an American supernatural horror film set in California suburb, which focuses on a family whose home is invaded by malevolent ghosts that abduct their younger daughter and the family's attempt to bring her back to the real world. This is the, synopsis. Strange and creepy happenings beset an average California family. The Freelings, Steve, Diana, teenage Dana, 8-year-old
Who's barely
Robbie,
in the movie,
and 5-year-old Carol Ann. When ghosts commune with them through the television set, initially friendly and playful, these spirits then turn unexpectedly menacing, and when Carol Ann goes missing, Steve and Diana turn to a parapsychologist and eventually an exorcist for help.
who's a lion-ass bitch.
I didn't think she was an exorcist in the film.
Well, she doesn't.
She didn't do much compelling of Christ. I mean, it wasn't a possession.
Yeah, I don't.
You know, they're just trying to rescue
She's
someone.
exercising the house.
Yeah.
She remember when she was doing that
House is
little,
clean.
when she was doing that little speech where she was like, "Go into the light."
Okay.
She was trying to convince the ghosts that were still there from being buried. If you've never seen Poltergeist, I'm sorry. Which I just saw it for the first time, and I'm already going to ruin it for other people. When she's in the house, and she's like, "Go on to the other side."
Yeah.
She's trying to convince those ghosts to go on. So she's exercising the house.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I can see that. The film was well received by critics and is considered by many as a classic of the horror genre, as well as one of the best films of 1982. What are your thoughts on the film? How did you think of it for seeing it for the very first time?
It made me laugh.
It's watching it now. If you've never seen it before, yeah, it's kind of funny.
As most horror movies of that time are apt to do in this day and age. Mm-hmm. I can imagine that for its time it was great. And I can imagine for its time it was terrifying.
Yeah, it was goddamn frightening the first time watching it, I'm sure, back in that year.
But, like, you're so desensitized to everything these days.
Yeah, now, I mean, I mentioned that it came out in 82. That's 38 years ago.
Yep.
That is insane to think about. That's 38 years ago.
And 38 years ago, I'm sure it was quite frightening. But now, I mean, I will say that I thought it was pretty well shot.
Mm-hmm. It's a good movie.
Dialogue was really funny.
Yeah, there were some bits of humor in there, which was nice, but
Well,
was
Steven
also-
Spielberg.
it was also kind of intense, you know?
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, some of the things didn't really make a lot of sense.
Right.
Like, I am a continuity snob.
what is the goo?
Yes. So, like, I'll just point out random shit that I'm like, that makes no sense. Or that wasn't happening like 5 seconds ago, but now it's happening because
Yep.
continuity.
Yep. It was a good film. I liked it. I hadn't seen it in forever since just watching
I didn't
just
think
now.
it was bad. I didn't think it was amazing, but I mean, I wasn't scared like I'm sure the movie was originally intended to do. Of
course.
But for it being 38 years old, I think it aged well.
And a good representation of what a poltergeist is.
Yeah.
Child actress Heather O'Rourke's line there here is arguably the most notable line of the film and has been parodied in many other works. So if you don't know what the poltergeist is, chances are you probably know what that line is.
I will say that kid getting eaten by a tree was a little wild.
That was crazy. Heather was only 6 when the film entered production and was released. 6 years old. She has also been credited for appearing in 5 other films, 2 of which were the 2 sequels to the original Poltergeist. We're going to talk about something sad. On January 31st, 1988, O'Rourke began, this is Heather, began exhibiting flu-like symptoms. The following morning, she collapsed in her home and was rushed to community hospital in El Cajon. En route, she suffered cardiac arrest, but paramedics were able to restart her heart. She was subsequently flown to the Children's Hospital of San Diego, where it was discovered she had intestinal stenosis, which is narrowing of a blood vessel or organ, and she went into emergency surgery. She survived the surgery, but suffered another cardiac arrest while being transferred to the recovery room. Doctors performed CPR for over 30 minutes, but at 2:43 p.m., Heather was pronounced dead. Her cause of death was ruled congenital stenosis of the intestine complicated by septic shock. Daniel Hollander, the head of gastroenterology at the University of California Irvine Medical Center, stated that O'Rourke's death was distinctly unusual, as she lacked prior symptoms of the bowel defect. He is quoted as saying, "I would have expected a lot of digestive difficulties throughout her life, and not just to have developed a problem all of a sudden." So
That's
very,
sad.
very strange, very sad. I think that was 88, and this came out in 82, and she was 6, so she was 12, 11 or 12. Yeah, it sucks. Oh, this is the end of my notes. So the majority of this information is gathered from folklore or ghost lore. The argument could be made that none of this, poltergeists aren't real, ghosts aren't real. If you are very rooted in science. So a lot of this comes from old tales of ghost encounters and portrayals in books, TV, film, and other media. Since the consensus is that ghosts don't exist, this information is as genuine and authentic as you're willing to believe. But if you hear strange unexplained noises at night or notice items in places you don't remember them being, you could be haunted by a poltergeist.
Love how you end your notes.
So watch out.
Oof. Tell me to watch out again.
Watch out.
Oh, goodness. Is it my turn?
What even is this? It is your turn.
What is this podcast?
So this, you have a story?
I have 2.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I just looked up some, well, it's hard to just be like, real poltergeist story.
Right, as we've discussed.
Right. So there's like notable hauntings that had explanations that were like covered in the media. And then there's the path less trod, that I prefer to go down because those are the ones where it's like there was no explanation behind it. It was just some random person's experience and it wasn't some asshole just trying to get famous.
Right.
Makes sense?
Yep.
So there's like, what was it called? Enfield? I don't remember. There's like a famous poltergeist story that turned out to just be 2 like teenage girls that were just fucking around.
See?
Right. Boring. I don't want to cover that shit.
Right.
So.
Not fun.
Took to the internet, the old interwebs, did a little digging, and picked out 2 stories that I liked that were actually poltergeist related because I didn't want to go down the like other spirit path. I was like specifically poltergeist. So just things being moved around. So I'm just going to read it verbatim.
Okay.
Okie dokie. This is from Reddit. I'm going to need to make an account.
You keep pulling information from Reddit, and then you're so critical of Reddit.
I'm not critical of Reddit. I'm just critical of having an account.
Why? What's having an account going to do?
I had one when I was in like high school.
So?
I don't want to go back to high school.
You won't go back to
The
high
mentality?
school. You won't. This is... Information on Reddit changes every day.
Anyways, this is a new story. So this is only like 17 days old. So it was posted recently from user char_rages.
Are you asking these people for their permission?
Nope. Nope. But at least I'm saying their username.
All right, we're giving them credit.
Yeah. This isn't from me. This is from char_rages on Reddit.
I'm ready. My ears are ready.
Are they? Because it seems like you're doing a whole lot of criticizing. Let me just get comfortable real quick.
Beer's tasty.
Okay.
Fruity.
You're fruity. When I was in my teens, still living with my parents, we had some crazy, air quotes, poltergeist type activity. It started with little things such as items moved or gone missing. I remember we had just eaten dinner and a glass on the counter slid all the way across the counter on its own. We dismissed it as having had water under it and then it slid on, but we each knew that there was no water on that counter.
Kind of like the steak.
Yes. That was gross. We laughed about our poltergeist as the chain from the hallway light randomly would start swinging like crazy with no influence from the wind. That same light would occasionally turn on by itself, which the three of us would always come up with a reason or excuse why it happened. This went on for a little over a month, and then things gradually got stranger and more noticeable. I had grown up in this house and never had any reason to feel uncomfortable in it. During this time, though, I would get the feeling of being watched. There was a sense of discomfort, insecurity, even fear that started to become the norm. I had a second floor window and no access to it from the outside. There was no tree nearby.
Well, thank God.
Yeah, there was only a little narrow walkway between houses. That was outside, and it was a floor down, too. No one could get to that window without a ladder. My bed was next to that window, and one night, I swear to God this is the truth, the sound of nails or claws scratching against that glass and randomly tapping on it started happening. That was 10 to 15 minutes of just terror for me. I didn't want to move.
Went on for 10 to 15 minutes? Jesus.
I didn't want to move, and I sure did not want to look to see what or who was there.
Oh my God.
I just got the feeling that seeing whoever or whatever was scratching that window would end up very bad for me. A gut feeling, if you will, to avoid whatever or whoever was there at any cost.
Good idea.
It was terrifying to me. This went on for another month or so, and it all came to an end one very terrifying night. I had been out for the evening and came home around 11 p.m. Both parents were in their separate bedrooms. My mom was in her room down the hall from my own upstairs, and she was reading. Our little dog Georgie was laying on the bed with my mom, per her usual. My father was sound asleep in his room on the main floor. I stopped in my mom's room to say goodnight, and then I went to get ready for bed. I was home about 10 minutes when furious, very loud pounding started on the front door. It was out.
All right.
It was as if whomever was there on the other side of that door was desperate to get in. I could only be described as a desperate, violent, loud demand for entry into the house. You could feel the vibration from the door being hit, even upstairs. Where was I? Oh, there it is. Our little dog Georgie was as per... Oh, wait.
Just mid-sentence. You lost your place.
No, they just repeated something, and I was like, I don't remember that being there the first time I read this. Oh. Our little dog Georgie was, as per usual, laying in my mom's bed, curled up for the night. The furious pounding on the front door at this late hour was so unexpected and so unusual. I confess I was afraid to go and answer the door. It didn't escape me that our dog was not getting up either, and she was not barking at all at the late night intrusion. I got up and went to my mother's room. She was already awakened by the nonstop violent pounding at the door. Georgie was laying on my mom's bed looking just terrified and certainly was not offering to go to the front door to protect the household in any way. She appeared very afraid and seemed to be hunkering down as far as possible into the side of my mom's leg. My mom and I both agreed whoever was there, it was not a good feel, and neither of us wanted to answer the door. I went downstairs to my father's room, all the while hearing the unrelenting pounding on the door. The front door was just on the other side of the wall from his bedroom, and yet he hadn't heard any of that furious pounding and didn't even wake up. I couldn't believe that because the pounding was so violent and loud, even the dog was afraid. I woke him up, and as I did, the pounding started to lessen in its strength and intestines. It sounded like that person pounding on the door was becoming exhausted, and the pounding became very labored knocks. I got my dad up and made him listen.
Dying.
Yeah, right? They're like, help! Help! They're like, it's ghosts! I got my dad up and I made him listen for himself that someone was at our front door at this late hour and told him that we, my mother, myself, and the dog, had unanimously elected him to answer the door.
That's a
I
dad's
said,
job.
Dad, this is your job. There are ghosts. He heard it now too and wasn't very happy that some fool was pounding on his door at that hour. That person better be hurt or in trouble, he begrudgingly mumbled. He got up, and we started cautiously walking to the front door. The pounding started to become very slow and weak knocks. It felt like forever to get to that
the
door.
guy's dying.
Yes. Weak, bleeding. Help me.
It's already too late.
My father reached for the door and yanked it open quickly. Just as we heard one last weak and exhausted knock, there was no one there. Surprise, surprise. He and I looked around, went outside, down the front steps, and then to the sides of the house, into the backyard, and found no one. My mom and our dog had made their way downstairs as well. My father and I split up and each went to an opposite side of the house, leading us to our empty, dark backyard. We came back out to the front and looked for any cars we didn't recognize. Both walked a short distance down the front sidewalk to look in between neighboring houses, and we found no one. When my dad and I walked back into the house, we told my anxious mother that there wasn't anyone at the door. No one could see across the street, down the street, at sides of the house, nor at the back of the house. There was no one. We were all pretty stressed out by all of this. Georgie was still being held by my mother and shaking from the experience. It was hours before any of us went back to bed. The poltergeist activity stopped after that. All of it stopped as abruptly as that furious pounding had started. It was if the person thing at the door was testing us that night, and the actual answering of the door must have let it out of our house. I think it got fed up with our attempts to ignore it, even laugh at it, or over the past few months and just left us. I remember all the weird things that happened in those few months quite vividly still. I still get scared when I think about the scratching on my second floor window, and I think of the frantic, violent pounding at the door that slowly weakened and stopped the second that door was open.
Wow.
This is a true story, and it's some 40 years later, and it still scares me.
Wow. That's wild.
I feel like poltergeist activity isn't nearly as scary as, like, other activity.
Well, I don't know. I think there's a level of fear in...
The unknown?
Exactly. Like, you don't know what it is. You don't know what's going to happen next. You don't know when it's going to happen.
Right.
You don't know where it could come from. Like, literally anything in your house could get moved or possessed or whatever. You could get thrown up at the ceiling and dragged across the walls like the mom in the movie.
I still want to know how they recorded that.
Yeah, it's pretty neat
We'll look it up.
shot. But yeah, just like you said, the fear of the unknown, it would terrify me really more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Just get the hell out of that house.
Pretty much, right? Why stay? I have a mosquito bite on my arm, too.
I was listening very intently, but I was also looking into this beer.
Yeah, I was watching.
You can actually see, well, I don't know if those are bubbles or if, because he said something about pulp.
Fruit pulp?
Fruit pulp.
I was looking for that, too.
I think that's what that is, or it could just be bubbles suspended in the beer. I don't know. It is a little bit purpley. I'm going to stop talking about the beer. I'm just going to drink it.
Anyways.
Continue. Second story.
My second story, my last story. This is from Floob Lord on Reddit.
Oh, yeah. Floob Lord.
Floob Lord on Reddit. Mm-hmm. To give credit where it's due. I lived in a haunted apartment. It was 2 rooms, but one of the rooms was locked, and I didn't have the key. So I only had one small room as kitchen, dining room, and bedroom, and a screened-in porch.
Okay, this sounds made up already.
There were 2 especially freaky events. One night, my girlfriend slept over, and she woke up in the middle of the night and said she saw the bathroom door open and a shadowy figure standing in the bathroom staring at her. The bathroom was right across from the locked room. Another time, I was jerked awake by the fire alarm going off, just blaring. But when I went to unplug it, the alarm stopped, and no other alarm in the building was going off. A lot of the things that happened could have just been my neighbors, but the way they happened was, well, weird. I would hear knocking. It sounded like someone tapping a spoon on a counter, coming from the downstairs apartment. It could have been my neighbor, but I'm not sure why she would do that every couple of minutes for hours on end. Or in the middle of the night, I would also hear knocking on the walls. It sounded like someone tapping their way up the wall, like they were looking for a stud. Someone's just hanging pictures at the middle of the night. Just, that'll go right there.
That's when I do that.
Yeah, that does seem like something you would do in the middle of the night when your picture comes in that's going over your computer.
3:30 in the morning.
Like, oh, that fucking asshole
There's
upstairs.
no one on that side of the wall. That'd be fine. They'd probably think it was Poltergeist anyway. They wouldn't think it was me.
Yeah. I would also hear this weird moaning, howling that I couldn't trace the source of. Again, could have been a neighbor's dog, but it didn't sound like it was coming from her apartment. The apartment across from me had 3 tenants in a year. I think it was just because it was more haunted than mine. I had I think a unique way of coping. I named the ghost Pete after a previous tenant's mail I would get from time to time. And I tried talking to him, basically treating him like a roommate I wasn't friends with. My girlfriend was much more freaked out by the situation than me and basically stopped coming over after a few months, so I wasn't there much anyway.
Smart.
When I felt like talking to Pete made the atmosphere of the whole place just more friendly. I also left out a sheet of paper with Pete's notes written on it and told him if he had any problems, just write them down.
Smart. Okay.
I still don't know if I quite believe in ghosts, though I find this supernatural fascinating, but that experience did push me closer to the science doesn't know everything about the universe camp.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Wild.
It's just what I find strange is that he moved into an apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment. He paid for a 2-bedroom apartment, but just 1 bedroom was just. It's like, oh yeah, that's just that room
one's
is locked.
Don't go in that
No,
one.
you cannot use that
I
part
know
of
that
your
you
apartment.
are renting this apartment and you wanted to have 2 bedrooms, but that door's locked, so it's really
door's
just a
never
1
opening.
bedroom. We're not changing the price though.
That's what gets me. It's like, why it doesn't make any sense.
I
But
know. I would have just like broken the door down or some shit, you know?
that's where the
Take the
poltergeist
knob
lives.
off.
Well, like the movie, maybe there's something that wouldn't let you into the room, you know?
That's true.
Maybe you need to hire a 4'3" tall lady to help you get in there.
This house is clean.
Fucking
And
liar.
she was wrong.
She was so wrong.
20 minutes left and everything went to shit.
That was a strange.
It's just a little random bit. You're like, oh, okay, the house is clean. They got Carol Ann back.
Yeah, strange twist at the end there that I didn't remember in the movie, and certainly no one was expecting.
Nope.
But
I certainly wasn't.
no, it was I liked the movie though.
Yeah.
I'm glad I could rent it on YouTube. That was cool.
Good old YouTube. Well, what'd you think of the beer?
I think I have a sample pad that I could record files and like put them on like little buttons. I think I'm just gonna do that where we get to this part of the episode and I'll just hit a button. Well, what'd you think of the beer?
That takes out the authenticity of it.
I love it. I admire your consistency in that particular part of the podcast.
Yeah.
I like the beer. You can tell it's fruity. It's not super fruit forward as the label or the description of the beer might suggest. It's definitely not overwhelmingly fruit. It's still very much beer, and there are children speaking outside. And
How dare they? Children are better seen, not heard.
Stop right now. Literally stop. God.
Hashtag save our children.
Beer's good. I enjoyed it. Oh, there they go. Bye, kids.
See you later. Have fun.
It's tasty. I'm not impressed. I'm not blown away.
That 76 was a solid score.
Yeah, I think
just okay.
The Beer Advocate review that you read was extremely accurate. It's good. It's tasty. But there's so many other beers that I'd pick before it. Mm-hmm. There's beers we've had on previous episodes that I would rate higher than this, obviously. But it is tasty. It was better than last week's episode.
Yes.
So I'll give it that. Just nothing overwhelmingly extraordinary about it. But it's good.
I don't know. Like, if someone had brought it to, like, a party, I'd be like, yeah, I could drink it.
It's cool. It's cool because it's something different.
Yeah.
And like you said, you think about the dessert beer sort of aspect to it.
I feel like it would go with desserts.
And yeah, it said something about a salad. Ooh,
Yeah,
are we
like
having a salad now?
light food.
Yeah.
Brie, mascarpone. I think it said cheese souffles.
It did. I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
I can see that pairing.
I guess if the idea was to pair it with, like, light desserts, you wouldn't really want the beer to be as strong because you would want the dessert to be the more forward flavor.
Well, I think it's the opposite. I don't think they were. I think it was they brewed it and then it's like, oh, I guess this is what it would be good to pair with. You know, not vice versa.
Yeah,
where it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
let's make a beer that would be good to pair with this.
Yeah.
But no, I definitely agree. It is not. It's not super strong. It doesn't You know, it's not overwhelming. It's not.
It's got an interesting taste when it hits the tongue. I don't know.
Is it an IPA?
No, it's a lager.
Oh, that's right. It says right there. Raspberry lager. It's good.
I don't know. I didn't mind it. It's decent.
You wanna close this out, Paige? You wanna do the honors this time?
I do the honors every time.
No.
So I will continue to do so.
I mean, like, I feel like every episode I spend 20 minutes just talking about.
No, you just talk about where we're available to be
Yeah.
listened to. But I mean, I feel like everybody knows at this point.
Well,
Still not on Pandora.
no, Pandora's still in the works. I know everyone's at the edge of their seats just waiting. But what if this is someone's very first episode, the first one they're listening to?
Do it. You do it. That's your job to ramble.
I feel like people get tired of me talking, though. I get tired of me talking. I don't know about you. I'm pretty sick and tired of hearing my voice in my head. So I wanted to give you the opportunity to know. Okay. Well, you can check us out. Any of the popular podcast platforms we're available on, wherever you might be listening to it now. If you're like listening off of Facebook or you got a link to our website, whatever, we're on Spotify. So go ahead, check us out on Spotify. We're on Google Play. We're on, Google Podcasts. We're on Apple
YouTube.
Podcasts. We're on YouTube. So we're pretty much accessible everywhere. If there's, I guess, a podcast thing that you prefer using and we're not on there, drop us a line. Let us know. We'll do our best to get on there. The two people still listening, if you want us to get on a certain app.
Yeah, come on. Give us some freaking feedback already.
Let us know. What else?
Freaking tantalizing.
Oh, we've got Facebook, Twitter,
Yes.
Instagram, and Reddit, where you can follow us. And we're posting all sorts of updates and content whenever possible to those platforms as well. You can stay up to date with our future episodes on those. Instagram, you'll see a lot of photos of Paige's pets in the future, I'm sure.
Yes, I've already posted a picture of my sweet little gecko.
It's adorable, by the way.
Thank you. He's a good boy.
And our email, beerandfearcast@gmail.com.
Flights and frights, please.
We want to do it. I mean, it's an idea that we've had for a while, but we can't do it until we get recommendations. And hey, that's totally fine.
No, it's not.
We don't. We're just at a point where we don't have enough people listening to be able to, where the in that.
You just don't want to take the time to type out an email.
No. I don't.
Lazy butts.
I don't think that's it. I think it's just there's so few people that listen to this that there's not enough people who actually have authentic ghosts or paranormal stories, personal ones, that they can share themselves.
Oh, well.
Which the intent of us trying to get more likes on social media
You're
and more
falling
listeners.
into that rambling again.
Again, this is why I gave you the opportunity, Paige, because I talk and I don't know where I'm going, and I get sick and tired of hearing myself.
All right, let's just stop now. Not enough listeners. We'll get there. Hopefully, Flights and Frights becomes a thing. If you've got a scary or paranormal experience, beerandfearcast@gmail.com.
Beerandfearcast@gmail.com.
Next episode will be next week.
Yep. I thought you were gonna.
No, I saw your face. You look like you were gonna scold me. Oh my god.
And hey, quickly submit your story if you have a personal scary story.
Like I said already.
Ghost encounter, whatever, and then pair it with a beer. Give us a beer,
Please.
Recommendation, a beer you like, or a beer that ties into the
That
story.
isn't Bud Light.
Right, that's not a beer like last week's. But you can send all that to beerandfearcast@gmail.com, and then even if you just want to say hi or what up, or give us recommendations or suggestions or whatever, you can
Have a good day.
No.
Have a good fucking day. Do you see all these mosquito bites I have on my legs from Crafted?
Oh, I only got I only had one. It was on my arm,
all over my feet.
and it's since healed.
I have a botfly.
Hooray!
Finally.
You gonna give birth to it?
Yeah.
You have a name picked out yet?
Chad.
No. Chad the botfly.
Chad the fuckboy botfly.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Got a promising future ahead with that name.
8 to 9 days of fuckboyery.
If this is going in the podcast, we apologize. All the Chads out there listening.
It won't be. I know you'll cut this.
The one Chad listening. You don't know that.
I know you will.
I'll keep it in.